All right, we'll go ahead and get started with the April meeting of the Ttcda. First up, declaration of a quorum. We have that. Fantastic. Thank you, commissioners, for being here. Next up is approval of the minutes. Hopefully you got a copy. We're able to read those, and I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Have a motion. We have a second. Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, first up for applications, certificates of appropriateness is Kalen Shekels, Signco Incorporated, which is 4-A-25-TOS. If we could get a staff report, please.
All right, this is a request to replace two existing building signs for an indoor storage facility. The proposed signs are for extra space storage. The surrounding area features a mix of commercial, office, and residential uses. Pellissippi State Community College is nearby. The property is zoned technology overlay and planned commercial. The existing Valley storage signs on the west and north sides of the building would be removed and replaced with two new identical building signs. The existing address sign on the west side of the building would be retained. The proposed signage includes the company name, Extra Space Storage, and individual channel lettering. The lettering would be directly mounted onto the building facade via an aluminum raceway painted gray to match the building. The sign faces are acrylic with matte finishes and are illuminated with LED lighting. The existing address sign is 4.9 square feet, and the square footage of each proposed sign is 33.46 square feet. The total for all three signs is 71.82 square feet, which is within the maximum area allowed of 100 square feet based on the building's linear frontage. Staff recommends approval of a certificate of appropriateness for a sign permit for the proposed building signs with the following condition, meeting all relevant requirements of the Knox County zoning ordinance as appropriate.
All right, thank you. Any questions for staff? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve per staff recommendation.
We have a second? Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, next up on the list is Matthew Baumgartner. I am going to butcher that, so I'm not even going to say it, the OYSK3 Architects. 4-A-25-TOB. All right, if we get a staff report, please.
So this proposal is for a new warehouse building that is 6,500 square feet, 1 story tall at Cogdale Road, north of I-40. This property is in Knox County and also the city of Knoxville. The portion in Knox County is zoned CB, Business and Manufacturing, within the technology overlay, and the portion in the city is Highway Commercial, so CH1 with the Technology Park overlay zone. Both of these zones provide for a wide range of high-intensity businesses with large automobile and truck traffic volumes, including storage yards. So there's an existing business for a deck storage yard here. So the new building will be the third building on the property. So this is the new building. There's a couple of existing buildings on this property. The site complies with the maximum ground area coverage, floor area ratio, and impervious area ratio. So even though there's a third building now, it still doesn't affect those, doesn't go over the guidelines maximum requirements for those metrics. The warehouse doesn't have any office space, so the new building doesn't require any additional parking spaces for the site. The proposed materials are board and batten metal siding, along with a metal roof. The color will be a muted color, and the proposed building is 16 feet tall to the roof line. It does feature long unbroken facades, which is generally discouraged in the guidelines. However, in this case, the building isn't going to be highly visible from the street. It's going to be mostly screened by this buffer yard. Let's see, by the buffer yard up here. It's also going to have plantings along the front and side of the building with holly and arborvitae trees along Cogdale Road, and then also there's landscaping over here off of the interstate. And the rest of the landscaping meets the guidelines. So the lighting plan also meets the guidelines for lighting intensity. And there's going to be 8 new light poles on the property, with foot candles being 0.1 at all the property lines. So the recommendation is to approve with the 2 standard conditions, meeting all the requirements of the City of Knoxville and Knox County Engineering and Public Works, and also City of Knoxville and Knox County zoning ordinances. Are there any questions?
All right, no questions for staff? Somebody here for the applicant? All right, don't need to speak, but if you want to give you the opportunity. Nope. All right, I'll entertain a motion if there's no questions.
Motion to approve per staff recommendation.
Do we have a second? Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Do we have other business that we?
We do have one item that needs to be withdrawn that is on the table. It's on the agenda at the bottom. If we could get a motion and a vote
Okay.
on that.
All right, so Sarah Peacock, Barbara McMurray Architects, which is 5-A-24-TOB. All right, we don't need a staff report on that, but it is just for withdrawal. So do I have a
Motion to withdraw.
second? We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, any other business?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
just quickly, you all have a copy of the ordinance that was passed on first reading at County Commission at the last voting meeting. It also passed in subcommittee at the state level. We will have a public hearing at our 30 minutes before our next voting meeting for the month of April. And then this will come before us again for a second reading at County Commission. And this is the ordinance to repeal Chapter 14, Article 2 of the Knox County Code relative to the Ttcda, to actually dissolve this body, and then all of the design guidelines will then be adopted into the new UDO and will remain in effect, but will be overseen by Knox County planning staff until the ordinance is adopted by commission.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate all the work on this. So, all right, any questions, comments? All right, anything else? All right, I believe we're adjourned.